Okay. So I think there's 3 groups. We split into 3 groups at the end. Okay, so basically Skunkworks is government initiative to get small to medium-sized businesses engaged with procuring government IT contracts, yeah? Or a visualization or something to present the difficult issues and maybe some of the solutions for how Skunkworks works. So here,
well, we have Rapunzel at the top, which is the government contract that we're all after. This is the big jump. This is the kind of the legislation that's in the way for SMEs to get across. The SME is the small, agile little guy on some stilts that will find this jump difficult, but he's agile. He's on 2 legs. The corporation is this big, very rigid ladder that will easily get across, but it is rigid and it's not as flexible and as agile as the SME. So this was the idea that how do we help the SME get across, but while recognising that it is a risk for the government to take on the SME at this stage.
So we played with ideas, sort of overlaying graphics, cartoons with charts. So here we've got behind this castle, there's a kind of histograms for the kind of the small fry and then the really large contracts and the big jump between. And here's like a clock showing the kind of percentage of the year spent just filling out procurement forms and how that affects different sized companies.
And what we're trying to show very briefly here is in this graph to show the monolithic nature of a traditional way of a more corporate way of awarding contracts, and that as SMEs really only get a fraction of the whole potential budgets available, and what's lost are innovation, agility, and some great opportunities along the way.
Right. And this is a bit of post-it note information graphics just to show you how the problem is mapped out. Over here we have government, over here SMEs. The problem is how to get somewhere in the middle. Government, org charts, bullet point lists, thinking about what they call big picture stuff. SMEs, small, thinking about how am I going to survive for the next 6 months? How am I going to sort of make do? How am I going to pay the mortgage? And how are we going to do some really interesting stuff that doesn't, that doesn't sort of maybe hit the mainstream for some time? So, what do? Clearly 2 different ways of looking at it. We want to meet in the middle, so emphasising that. 2 things we need to do. Government needs to start looking down, focusing a bit. SMEs need a way of presenting a bigger profile so that governments don't go, oh, we can't touch those, they're too small, they might go out of business next week. So it's coming together somehow in the middle. How do you do that? Came up with this concept of a constrained targets. The constraints replace the bullet point list, so the government are happy. They go, right, we need to do this, this and this, but don't go any further. But SMEs, designers, engineers, creative people, whatever, they don't think like that. Otherwise all you end up with is 50 mini solutions to bullet point lists, which ends up as a sort of hodgepodge of nothing. So they want a target. So that's the concept is a constrained target. Both sides are satisfied, and everyone gets what they want, hopefully. That's that.